Hey everybody, Nate here, Hill and Ponton's video guy. I know it's not the blue polo, but I decided I'd switch it up for some fun. Today I'm going to be talking with attorney Shelly Mark about a whole bunch of different things. And before we dive in, I want to make sure that you hit that subscribe button and the thumbs up on the video. We want to make sure we reach as many veterans as possible with all this free information so that you can be educated and win your claims. Without further ado, hey Shelly, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing very well. How are you?
Doing pretty well, hanging in there. It's Friday, which
It's
is good.
Friday.
That's
It's
good.
wonderful.
It's always wonderful. So I just want to get to know a little bit more about you. How long have you been practicing VA benefits law?
So, I have been practicing VA benefits law for a number of years. Just to give a little bit of background,
Yeah.
I graduated from law school in 2009,
Okay.
and I immediately started working in legal aid in the Daytona Beach area, and I worked with homeless veterans. And I helped them establish their VA healthcare, and we tried to help them get into like VASH housing and different VA housing programs. And we helped a little bit with VA claims over time,
Yeah.
but it was kind of a full picture benefits program at Legal Aid.
Okay. And then from there, I know you worked with Social Security law for a little bit and then moved to VA law.
That's correct.
Okay.
I left Legal Aid several years after that program was started. I'm happy to say that that program does still exist.
Good.
And I came to Hill and Ponton almost 13 years ago. And I came here to do VA law, and it became a kind of a hybrid VA and Social Security.
Okay.
And then it was a little bit more Social Security. And I practiced in Social Security for a number of years. And then in the last, I would say 5 years, I have come back to focusing on VA,
And then what is it that you enjoy about VA benefits law?
the clients.
Okay. So you're really all about the people.
Yes, I wanted to work with veterans when I was in law school. When I came out of law school, that was definitely my goal. Not just veterans, but a population of people in need,
Yeah.
and individuals that need advocacy. And veterans definitely fall into that category, especially going up against the bureaucracy that is the VA.
Yeah. Now, with going up against that bureaucracy, since you've been kind of around the VA process for a while, are there any tips that you have that would make it easier for any veteran who might feel stuck in the process or anything like that?
I think my number one tip would be to file.
Okay.
We have so many clients that are waiting on to get something in, to find records, to get a proper diagnosis, to get to a point in their life where they're not as stressed or whatever the situation may be, and they really put off filing. And my advice would be to go ahead and file the claim and let the development begin, because it can take years and years to get to a point where there's an approval. But once you lock in that effective date by filing the claim, as long as you're appealing properly within the timeframes required by the VA, then that effective date will remain established.
So, with those timeframes, correct me if anything I'm saying is wrong,
Sure.
because I'm going based off of editing a lot of videos over the past few years. But you can, before you file, you can put in an intent to file,
That's correct.
which locks in an effective date for 1 year.
Yes,
And in that year, you have to file.
correct.
And then from filing, you have how long usually has it been taking from the initial file for people to be getting decisions?
So right now, if you're filing at the regional office, which would be, we'll just say a new claim, it would approximately 6 months to a year.
Okay. So then if you're doing everything at the longest possible, you would put your intent to file in. That gives you about a year, 6 months to a year for your claim in to be decided. That's about 2 years of waiting
Right.
right there. So filing now will help you start that 2 year process because it is so slow.
Right.
And then once you get your decision, what are the timeframes for appeals?
So once you get the decision from the regional office, you have a year to file an appeal. So that's plenty of time. If you need to collect new evidence, then you have plenty of time to do that and file a supplemental appeal. If it's something that you just need a review because you think there were mistakes or evidence that was not considered properly, then you have more than enough time to file a higher level review.
Okay. And then that So that year added on, now you've got the claim, which is the reason why you're saying file, is now you have
Right.
your intent to file, that's claim, that's 2 years, and then this appeal gives you another year. That's like up to 3 years of waiting.
Exactly.
And then after your appeal is in, you have more time going on. So
Yes.
the reason behind filing is it's going to take a while. Start it now, collect your stuff as you go.
Right.
And you now have an earlier effective date, which means the back pay will kick into that specific point.
Correct. And it's heartbreaking to see the cases, and we see them all the time, where a veteran, in some cases, may file 18 months after their discharge and they fight it for a couple years and then they stop. And then they refile it 5 years later and they fight it for a couple years and they stop. And then we come in and we are very limited in opportunities to argue for an earlier effective date if those appeals aren't filed properly. And so you just look at the time frame that veterans have been fighting for these claims, and we have to basically, start over in a lot of cases.
Man,
Yeah,
that's rough.
it is.
Is there anything else that you think would be a tip? So you've got make sure you file now. That's the biggest one. Anything smaller that might help?
Definitely make sure that you are in treatment, or at least being evaluated by doctors for the symptoms that you have. You do need a diagnosis. So if you're experiencing symptoms, or you're having pain in your shoulder, or you think that you're experiencing anxiety or something like that, you definitely want to seek medical treatment for it. That way, when you do file, you can prove that you have a diagnosis.
Okay, cool. I mean, I think that's a lot of great information and some
Great.
stuff that people can definitely use. So
Okay.
thank you so much for watching this video. Remember, hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and as always, thank you for your service.